Hi, I'm Nate Carney, and what I want to talk to you about right now is, my journey with having dyslexia and owning a business. Um, I first found out that I, had something, wrong with the way my brain processed words and information when I was in school. I think, like many people, that's when they first discovered this. So what would happen was I couldn't read very quickly. It took me forever to read a book, um, and it was probably most prevalent when I would be taking like timed tests. So once that the pressure was on, and I had to read these read what the question was and articulate an answer, or uh, find the multiple choice answer. It was like I could see the words, I could read them, but it's like they didn't mean anything. Um, it took a tremendous amount of focus and time to really get through a section on an exam, and I always found myself running out of time, uh, you know, or I would just pick, when I run out of time, I'd see all the way to the end just to get done. Um, that didn't always turn out so well, and based on the scores of my exams, it kind of put me in a learning group in my school that always didn't necessarily challenge me. Fast forward to owning a business. I don't think it's so bad now. I've developed these strategies of learning and reading and thinking that have really created these little hacks, in the world. Um, but I've been able to really learn an industry, master an industry, and develop a business around providing services in that industry. I own a company that provides HVAC, electrical, and plumbing services in a very competitive area, Washington, D.C., and we do very well. Uh, but I think, in spite of the weaknesses that having dyslexia has kind of given me, it's caused me to be more resourceful, and resourceful in ways that gives me some advantages as a business owner, I think. Um, and that's what I wanted to sort of talk about. First and foremost, I think having the experience of dyslexia kind of gives a person a propensity to kind of have a higher emotional intelligence. Um, we have kind of a higher self-awareness, and we know what it's like to feel stupid. We know what it's like to be judged in inappropriately. And so whenever I interact with the employees of my company, I don't just look at the particular error that we're discussing. I look at the whole situation and try to find opportunities to prevent that from happening again, opportunities to teach, and really, look at a mistake not as a particular, but as an opportunity for growth and learning. And I tell you one thing: I never call anybody stupid or idiot, and because I know how it feels, and I think that really makes my company unique in that fact that I'm always looking at each person and their day as a system, and not just as a bunch of little decisions. And I think that really helps. Second, with coming with self-awareness, you're, as a person with dyslexia, you're aware of what you cannot do. I mean, I'm 37 years old, and I know myself, and I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm really good at, and I also know what I'm not good at, and I know where those weaknesses are. So I don't waste my time trying to enrich areas of my life or ways of thinking that are going to take a lot of time and be really inefficient. So what I do is it causes me to delegate. It causes me to make hiring decisions for people that have skills and modes of and ways of thinking that really I'm not good at, and that frees me up to double down on what I'm good at, and it's really made my business successful, and from learning I've done in leadership and business development, that's what winners do. And so I'm very happy with myself. I'm happy for the fact that I haven't had to learn the hard way. It's just more, it's natural for me in a team setting to delegate toward my weaknesses. So that's where dyslexia is like a superpower for me. I mean, it's natural. And third is our business is very diagnostic and problem solving heavy. We incorporate engineering principles, material science, interdisciplinary problems, from mechanical engineering to electrical engineering, fluid dynamics. And I think being a person with dyslexia, I don't approach a problem just from one discipline. Oftentimes in a building, commercial building, or a system like, let's say, HVAC, the problem isn't necessarily an HVAC problem. It's electrical and has to do with refrigeration science or fluid dynamics. So when I approach a problem, I'm not just looking at the particulars of the situation. I'm also synthesizing other disciplines, and I think that makes me a really great engineer. It makes me a very, very skilled diagnostic professional. And we've also kind of built that into the culture of our business. So, I really encourage the people who work with me to not just think of themselves as HVAC professionals or electricians or plumbers. I encourage them to think interdisciplinary from like a multi-trade perspective. So, and I really push that as a way of thinking. And what I see with my employees is a great amount of satisfaction in their work, but also a great amount of growth. I might have a technician work for my company, and they might start as a plumber, but over the course of a year, they're learning, thermodynamic principles for a refrigeration system or electrical engineering, and they're not really pigeonholed in looking at every problem from their discipline. And what, from a business perspective, it makes the service that we provide more efficient. It makes it it develops, it brings a higher level of quality, and it also gives us the ability to communicate with our customer in a way that is informed from, all aspects of mechanical engineering, or from a building science perspective, and it really works. So, if you're a person that has dyslexia and you feel like a failure, you feel stupid, or be encouraged by the fact that I think that dyslexia is not so much a disability. It's more like a different way of thinking about the world around you, and I'm like I said, I'm 37 years old, and just recently I've started to really understand how dyslexia gives me a different perspective, and actually gives me a strength in my personal growth, but also in the marketplace. So I just wanted to share that with you, and have a good day.